Hey folks, if you've ever been ghosted by recruiters more times than a bad date, this one's for you. Today we're going to be diving into the resume mistakes that keep brilliant cyber folks stuck and the 5 resume tweaks that help me stand out and land roles in this amazing industry. Trust me, your resume does not need to look like the Matrix, but it does need to work like a missile, fast, targeted, and effective. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Femi, and I talk about cybersecurity, career growth, tips and tricks, and things that can help you grow your career in cybersecurity. I would actually ask that you consider subscribing and also hitting the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos so you can continue to follow our awesome content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming to watch another one of our videos. And now, let's jump in. Now, the challenge is many resumes read like a job description from an HR compliance manual. Responsible for monitoring firewall logs, was in charge of supporting this, fixed that, all of that. That doesn't work in today's day and age. In 2025, if that's on your resume, please throw that resume away. It is not going to work. How do you fix that? How do you do something that actually works and put that on your resume? Here's how to fix that. Instead of listing out the duties you did, highlight the outcomes that your task had. Show the impact you had in a role. So for example, instead of listing that you were responsible for XYZ, why don't you do something like reduce phishing email click-through rates by 25% after leading a simulated awareness campaign? Do you see the difference there? That tells a story. It tells us what I did, how I did it, why I did it, and what the impact was. That's why it works, because hiring managers want to know what you can do and not just what you were told to do. How do you take the initiative? How do you tell your story? Your resume has to tell a story. If it's not telling a story, it's going to miss the mark. So you've got to learn how to tell the story with your resume. Tip number 2, if you're following, for the job description is, they say mirror the job description. Because the truth is, your resume isn't a one-size-fits-all outfit. You have to tailor that thing. You have to tailor it and make it targeted every time you apply. So every job description you apply for, every job you apply for has to have a tailored resume. So use that job description as your cheat sheet. We don't mean you should copy out the job description and post that into your resume. No, that doesn't usually work. Instead, mirror the language that they use, especially some of the phrases they do. If it talks about SIEM, show them you've used Splunk or Sentinel, that you've used that tool that is a SIEM and what impact you had with that tool. So that if they're using an ATS or if it's tracking of those words, your resume is literally screaming to them, you're looking for this, hey, that's me. I'm the one you're looking for. Yes, this one. And also, keep an eye out for things like phrases like risk assessment, incident response, compliance audits, because if you've done it, flaunt it. How else are they going to know if you don't talk about it? If you remember in my previous video where I spoke about talking about what you've done, you have to do that. Talk about it, put it on your resume as well. Tip number 3, highlight every transferable skill that you have. Here's the truth. Not everyone starts in cyber. And that's not just okay. That's actually a superpower. It's great if you don't actually start out in cyber. Have you worked in retail? You've got customer service skills. You've got the chops to handle crisis management because that's built into you in your role as a retail person. Did you come from teaching? You're great at translating technical stuff in a clear, friendly, concise, and meaningful way. So there's gold in cybersecurity. Those skills are gold in cybersecurity where communication and empathy are just as important as your ability to write code or to troubleshoot or read through NIST documents or CSF benchmarks. So don't hide your past life. In fact, connect the dots for the hiring manager. How your previous skills in a previous role or a previous life are transferable to your current role that you're looking for to get to that cyber role, and how that's going to make you not just the right fit, but a terrific asset to have for that role. That's very important. Not enough people do that in their resumes, so learn to show your value, learn to show your worth in your resume by connecting those dots from your previous life.
Hey CyberSec Migrant listeners, if you're enjoying the show, help us spread the word. Share the CyberSec Migrant podcast with your friends, your colleagues, and your network. It's the best way to help others discover our awesome content and to join the conversation. And don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and any other place where you get your podcast, so you never miss an episode. And do hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Your support helps us keep bringing you more valuable content, insights, and stories, and all these tips from the world of cybersecurity. And thank you for tuning in. And now, let's get back to today's episode.
Now, tip number 4, you have to be strategic to certifications, because I see a lot of resumes with people having what we call the alphabet soup of certifications, because they just take the alphabet and throw them up, and then you see all sorts of certifications: CISSP, CISM, CEH, ABC, DEFG, XYZ, PQR. Certifications are great. I have a number of them myself, but they're only great and useful if, and I repeat this, if they are relevant. So don't just throw on every single certification you've done just to look busy. Instead, ask yourself, these certifications I am listing, do they support the job I am applying for? If the answer is yes, then leave it on. If the answer is no, please chuck it and throw it out. Secondly, ask yourself, does this certification speak to what I have learned? If it showcases that learning and helps you be a stronger and better candidate for the role, then yes, leave it in there. If it does not, again, throw it out. If it specifically requests for a specific certification in the job description and you have it, you have to ensure that you include. That's the only time when I allow you to put the alphabet soup. But other than that, you don't always need to put every single certification you have. And remember, not everybody needs CISSP on day one. Even the Google Cybersecurity certificate, even as maligned as it is, or even CompTIA, well placed can go a very long way in finding you that first role you need. So you don't always need to have the CISSP to land your first role. In fact, if you have a CISSP and you haven't landed your first role, it's going to be even harder for you to land your first role. So be very, very strategic about how you use certifications on your resume. Tip number 5, formatting. Yes, if you had 2 homes standing in front of you and one home was just plain, no paint on the walls, no door handles, just a bunch of boards put together, and the next one was there, gilded doors, fancy handles, it had a little fountain in the front, there's a little cupid in the corner, it's pretty, all of that, lights, dazzling. Which house would interest you? Of course, the one that looks fancy. The same thing with your resume. If you format your resume properly, it looks fantastic. But if you don't, and it looks like it was made with Word Art in 1997, it's going straight to the recycle bin. So it's important that you learn the proper thing to do and how to format your resume. So use a clear modern template. If it's too busy, no one has the time to read your resume. Most times they say the recruiter has 6 to 8 seconds to determine if he wants to keep reading your resume or chuck it. You want those 6 to 8 seconds to really matter. So use a clean, modern template that gives them exactly what they need to see, where they need to see it immediately. Second, and I say this a lot, avoid all those fancy fonts, Comic Sans, I'm looking at you, all those fancy colors that confuse the recruiter or the person who's reviewing your resume. Or maybe it's a bot, maybe it's an ATS that's reviewing your resume. All those fancy fonts and colors don't help your case. So if that's you, if that's what you do, please stop doing that. No one wants to see that, okay? If you're a starter, if you're just starting out your career and you have 0 experience, keep it to 1 page. Usually 1 page would be more than enough to showcase what you need. So if you have some experience, then you're allowed to go into 2 pages. And what I say is, if your second page is less than a quarter of the way down full with content, then you need either add more content to make it at least 3/4 of the way down the page, or take it out and keep it to 1 page. It looks weird if your second page of a resume is only a quarter of the way full. So if you're going to go into a second page, make sure you have enough content to get onto the second page for it to be meaningful. And of course, bonus, always send a PDF version. I always recommend. Find them might say almost every ATS would allow you to submit a PDF version. Some of them might request for a Word version, yes, but where you can, save it as a PDF and save the name properly. So I've seen people save resumes in goodness knows weird names. No, don't do that. Your resume should be your name, First name, last name, maybe the role, and then that. Don't do resume final or your name 2027 resume. No one wants to see that. So your first name, your last name, the role you're applying for, that's it. That should be the way you should save your resume format so that it's easy to read, it's easy to track. So those are some of the 5 bonus tips I think that would help you to format your resume in a great way. Now, if you want some help building your cyber resume from scratch or punching it till it shines, I have built something that would help you 10x your resume and career growth. I've taken all of my experience and I've put that together, my personal journey, what I've done with my mentees in the last few years and months, and I've packaged that into an awesome cybersecurity resume kit. It has everything you need to jumpstart your career, including things like resume templates, how you can create your resume that's going to stand out and get you noticed. It's going to help you prepare for interview with confidence because there's interview prep tools there as well. And then you're just starting your career, you're looking to grow, you're looking to step into a higher role. This resume kit is an all-in-one resource that's actually going to really help you to do just that. I've taken my over 15 years of experience in that industry and distilled down into the things that will help you. And I've actually put in some testimonials for some of my previous students who have actually used my resume tips and tricks, and they've actually had nothing but glowing testimonies to say. So if that is something you are interested in, I would suggest that you consider looking at that as an option. This is something I would say you should think about. And I'm going to put a link to that resume toolkit down in the description. As at this time of recording, I'm running the promotion is 75% off. It's not going to be there that way forever. It's going to go off after a while. So the earlier you're able to get that, pick it up if it's something for you. Check it out in the link below and see if it's something that you will find useful. Please leave that down in the comments below. Tell me about what you experienced, what you've done, job hunting, finding your resumes, how your resumes have really helped. I would really, really love to hear about your story. So tell me those in the comments below. So, people, if you're going to take anything away from today, your resume is your billboard. It has to make people stop scrolling and open the door to you and say, hey, what you got, man? So, which of these tips are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss next week's episode. And until next time, when I catch you again, this is Femi signing out. Thank you.